All right, listen, we're back at it again. And of course, this morning we're joined by Sean Willard, pharmacist and national training and PR manager for Relief Pharmaceuticals. We're talking about IBS and the functioning of our gut and our digestive system. And we were focusing right now on the kind of diet that you're looking to implement into your life that could help you if you are suffering from IBS. Because at the end of the day, what you put into your body is so important, right, Sean?
Absolutely, 100%.
Yeah, it's all about the system.
That's right. So when we look at diets and what we should be and shouldn't be eating, I know a lot of people like to follow what they call a low FODMAP diet. FODMAP just meaning the acronym for fermentable oligosaccharides, disaccharides, monosaccharides, and polyols. Try and say that after.
Good
without your coffee in the morning. Just rolls off the tongue. But things like high amounts of fructose and high amounts of fructans and glucans and polyols. So there's certain foodstuffs that could honestly flare up your IBS. It's not to say that everyone's going to have a problem with plums and peaches and apples, for instance, but it would be advisable to look at that and minimize your intake or reduce your intake where necessary if that's what's flaring it up.
At least gives it a starting point, something that you can start at naturally.
There we go.
So let's talk about foods that can then necessarily help the situation. Is it necessarily that a high fiber diet would help you?
So it's an interesting one because it's a bit of a double-edged sword when it comes to fiber, because specifically in IBS and constipation, if we look at our insoluble fibers, which we wouldn't normally take in IBS because it could flare it up, but it could be great for constipation, so with the bulking effect. So we normally talk more on the soluble fiber side of things. So I would suggest that people out there talk to their registered dietitian, maybe their nutritionist, just to get an advice on what is specific fiber that they need in their situation. Are they having IBS with constipation? Is it with diarrhea? They would need different forms of fiber and in their food intake.
That's when you're going to go and have one of those conversations. Listen, I've got this friend who's having this.
I've got an uncle.
Say it loud and proud.
Exactly.
No, completely, man. It's your body, it's your health, it's your mental well-being that's at stake here as well. I think there is the danger when you are consistently suffering from constipation, maybe nausea, even heartburn. You start taking a battery of pills, and you get used to kind of this barrage. I myself have been kind of at fault for that. How do you go about medicating? What is too much? Where should we kind of start making that shift to medicine as opposed to kind of looking at diet and those sorts of things? How should we approach our pill popping culture?
Yeah, and if you're taking a cocktail of pills, don't. Simple.
Cool.
So, but what generally happens is what I found through pharmacy is that people come in, they want something for pain, so they take a painkiller, it's got codeine in it, that constipates, so they take another product, then they take another product. So it can become a situation of polypharmacy. I would suggest that they go the natural route as much as possible. Look at your diet, look at that water intake, make sure that you are exercising and getting those types of things in. And of course, at the end of the day, is take a herbal supplement where necessary, but not a cocktail of pills.
I mean, talk to me about that. Trying to find as natural an approach as possible. Exercise is recommended for all kinds of stress relief, anxiety relief. But how does it help in regulating your digestive system and ultimately helping you find relief?
Yeah, it's incredible. They actually did a test in a trial on about 102 IBS sufferers over in Sweden, and they found that just moderate exercise, 15 to 20 minutes, five times a week or 3 to 5 times a week, improve the symptoms tenfold in terms of your IBS symptoms. So it really is important. I would start with something more sort of on the low intensity side, something like you did last week in the stretching and the Tai Chi, the yoga, the walking and that. Maybe not jumping and skipping and those kind of things in the beginning, because it can flare up the digestive disorder.
I mean, just to wrap this up, I mean, so many people suffer through this without looking for assistance, without taking that first step. What are the main dangers, do you think, in your experience, for allowing IBS to continue? What are some of the negative repercussions?
Yeah, I think at the end of the day is when we look at, particularly when it comes to something like constipation, there's always a knock-on effect. People are straining, and that can lead to hemorrhoids, it can lead to various other cuts, etc. So it's a very uncomfortable subject to talk about. But at the end of the day, is if you address the diet, you address the water intake and the exercise, all of these things can work together with a herbal supplement to improve your quality of life. That's the main thing at the end of the day. If it doesn't work on that basis, please do go back and see your doctor. Very important.
Most importantly, Sean, thank you very much. Always a pleasure
having
you here in the studio.
Thanks,
and of course, if you do suffer from IBS and you're looking for relief, ARTIGEST is available at all leading pharmacies nationwide. And if you'd like to learn more about IBS and to understand your symptoms, you can visit artigestibs.co.za.
Control the symptoms and feel the relief with ARTIGEST IBS, brought to you by Relief Pharmaceuticals.